Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I want to talk about this article that I saw here from Screen Rant that is titled, Yes, People Still Watch The Walking Dead. And yeah, obviously I see something published from Screen Rant, which is obviously a pretty popular website, and so I had to check it out. And man, some really great points here. Like there's even a headline here that says, when did it become cool to hate The Walking Dead? And that just got me thinking, like, yeah, you know what? You know people don't watch The Walking Dead anymore when they say stuff like that. Whenever there's a comment about like, oh, is this show still on? You know they don't watch the show anymore because the show has completely changed from where it was at in season 7 and 8. There's also some other really great points, like it being the most popular show right now, or not the most, but one of the most popular shows in demand right now from really, audiences just all around the world. Its storyline after Rick left, the hype for that, and also the future of it being very exciting. Again, this article really goes into it a lot. I'm just gonna kind of talk about the points that it made, but obviously they go into it a lot more, so I definitely recommend checking out the article. I'll leave a link down below. But obviously, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want more Walking Dead content like this. Comic-Con is in 12 days. It's coming right away, right? Like it's so soon now. We're getting the trailer in just a week and a half, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that drops today. I don't imagine there being some stuff that comes out because it's Sunday, but obviously tomorrow's Monday. And, just throughout this next week, stuff could definitely drop hyping up Comic-Con. There's actually some rumors going around on Twitter right now, and I'm debating on whether or not I should do a video on it, just because, yeah, in the end, it might not really mean anything, but it is kind of exciting, and it really is because a fan was at Denai Guerrera's show last night, and apparently Denai Guerrera said something like, and Andrew Lincoln was going to meet with her next week or whatever, and I'm assuming it's to watch her show, right, because she has this huge thing going on right now, and so it just got me thinking, like, if it's happening in the next week, right? Like, a couple days later, what's happening? Comic-Con, right? So it just kind of got me thinking, like, could we see that happen? Could we actually see Denai Guerrera and Andrew Lincoln show up at Comic-Con for some sort of Rick movie announcement? I don't know. That obviously would be really amazing, but obviously right now it's just sort of, for me anyways, I'm just hoping, I'm wishing that would happen. I think people would be freaking out if that happened, but I think that's really what the Walking Dead fan base needs right now. And as soon as they announced Comic-Con, people seem to be really excited. Like that's the thing. People seemed, like towards the end of June there, people started to get pretty just upset and depressed, or not, I guess not depressed, but frustrated, with, I guess, The Walking Dead, that there was no promotion for the final season, that it just seemed very quiet and whatnot. But obviously, once they announced Comic-Con, that seems to be the starting point where as soon as it's Comic-Con, things are going to, it'll set off and go in this direction, and we're all hyped for the final season, right? I still think there's going to be some stuff over the next, 12 days or so, but obviously, seeing the official trailer and all of that stuff is pretty exciting. And it just got me thinking that I think that's just one of the things that people need right now. Like, fans are excited for the Daryl show. They're excited for Isle of the Dead. But I think because we know that the Rick movie is a thing, people want an update on that. And I think that's just the thing that is really, I think it's hurting The Walking Dead, to be honest. Like, I think they need an update on the Rick movie, and a very good update, not just yeah, the script's done, we're doing this. Like, it has to be basically it took a while to do this, but we're announcing this, we're the movie's coming out in fall 2024 or spring or summer 2024 or something like that. I'm assuming it's going to be fall 2024. So that's 2 years away. Okay. So maybe you're not filming this year, you're going to be filming next year, but just that right there, even though it's still a bit away, there's that excitement because we know we're getting that, right? We have a date in mind, and so as soon as we get closer and closer, the more exciting it gets, right? And the one thing that I'll say, people say, well, it's been too long, right? The movie should have came out a year ago. You got to remember, Andrew Lincoln left for a reason. He wanted a break, right? And it makes no sense to jump into it. He left for 3 years and 8 months ago or something, he left the show. So it's that's not that long. He's done other projects and stuff. It makes sense that it would take some time because he originally left, because he wanted a break. He wanted to spend some more time with kids. He wanted to do other things. Filming a television show was just very hard. It took up a lot of time, so he wanted to do other things and he didn't want to jump back into it immediately. He seems excited about it. I think it was last year. I think it was April, May, or March or something of 2021, where he said that he's really hoping they're going to be starting to film this spring or summer. We haven't gotten an update since then, like on why that changed, but obviously, like we heard at some point last year that Norman Reedus said that the scope changed or whatever, and that obviously got us thinking, like, how did the scope of the movies change? And to me personally, I'm just thinking it's not necessarily a Rick Grimes movie. I think it's going to be more a Walking Dead movie, and I think they're going to be doing these spinoffs and stuff, and I think it'll be more of like a cinematic universe where I think some of these characters like Daryl or Maggie and Negan, Carol and whatnot are going to be in that movie kind of thing. Like, I feel like they might go down that route, but it really depends. Again, I don't know what they meant by that, but obviously something changed here with the story, thus why we sort of had this delay. And again, I think Comic-Con, they're all going to be there in front of a lot of fans. Everyone wants to know where Rick is. Obviously, like, you could wait until The Walking Dead ends later this year. I just think now is the perfect time to give a really big update because I think a lot of people are going to be freaking out. But anyways, to get more into the article here, I really like the opening paragraph right here. It says, some people may love to muse on how far The Walking Dead has fallen, at least critically speaking, but it is still one of the biggest shows on TV. Considering how almost universally popular The Walking Dead was for a time, it is easy to see why an army of detractors eventually formed. Hype naturally provokes backlash, and with the natural ebbs and flows in quality that even some of the best TV shows go through, The Walking Dead has concocted the perfect recipe for earning haters. That is so true. That right there, The Walking Dead during season 4 and 5 and kind of in 6, and I guess I would say for 6, like, I know season 6 the ratings dropped a bit, but they were still like monstrously high. And that cliffhanger obviously really, like, again, when something is that big, that massive, right? Like, you're going to get a lot of haters, especially when you consider the fact that The Walking Dead has been on for this long. Like, it's hard for people to watch a show for years and years and years and years, right? Like, it's very hard for people to stick to a show unless they become like a big fan of it. They really identify with the characters. A show will usually hit its peak and will be loved by everybody. But like with all trends, trends have a certain amount of time where they're very popular and they're very mainstream. It's not going to last forever. And so The Walking Dead now is kind of competing with itself, which is kind of hilarious. And that's the thing too. Like, obviously I've been watching the show on TV since like season 2. And really after that cliffhanger in season 6, I think that's where a lot of hate for the show started to happen. I think a lot of people started to realize that, like, okay, you're doing this, and like, it's starting to, like, stop doing cliffhangers, finish stories and whatnot. And obviously that continued throughout all of season 7 and then into season 8. We got Carl's death, which definitely really sucked. But again, it changed as soon as we got to season 9. It really did change. And that's what I mean. Like, it does suck because obviously The Walking Dead lost a lot of people, but a lot of those people haven't tuned in. And I've seen people literally tune into the show and review the show since season 8. And they're like, damn, the show's actually really good again. I like what this article points out right here. It says that The Walking Dead is still one of the most popular shows. And it says, at its peak, The Walking Dead was drawing in 15 to 17 million same-day viewers on a weekly basis, an absolutely gargantuan number for a cable original. At that point, Walking Dead was not only the highest rated scripted show in the prize 18 to 49 viewer demographic on cable, but for all of TV. And many years later, The Walking Dead's ratings are definitely far removed from their heyday. Each new episode draws in between 2 and 3 million same-day viewers on AMC, which is a steep decline from season 6 to be sure. In the grand scheme, this is not bad at all. During the time that The Walking Dead shed much of its viewership, linear TV as a whole has continued to hemorrhage viewers, with more people content to be entertained by streaming content. When compared to the competition in 2022, The Walking Dead still boasts some of the best overall viewership numbers for a scripted program, and it's also still the top show on cable among the 18 to 49 demo. In fact, spin-offs Fear the Walking Dead and the recently ended The Walking Dead World Beyond are in the top 10 in that category too. Basically, The Walking Dead's main show is by no means going out on the bottom. And that's the thing too. Like, obviously I have my thoughts on World Beyond. Fear the Walking Dead, you know, I love season 6, season 7, definitely I just incredibly disappointed. Definitely really disappointed with the overall story, but I saw something about this actually online. I don't remember where it was. I saw it on Twitter. People were posting stuff, but like The Walking Dead was still very much in demand for like streaming and whatnot. And that's the thing. When you look at the fan base, like it is so strong. When you look at all other shows after 10, 11 seasons, if they even make it that far, The Walking Dead is still so massive. It is like, it's most people that I know love The Walking Dead. They don't watch it on cable. They don't subscribe to AMC Plus, so they're not watching it like currently, but they watch it when it drops on Netflix. And I'm talking like everyone I know, like family, friends, everybody, like they'll watch it when it drops on Netflix. And I think that's just one of the, if anything, that's just because Netflix is just very popular, right? Like for me personally, I watch it on AMC Plus and I watch that, I guess, through Prime Video. I don't know what the numbers are, but obviously I'm assuming anyways, Netflix is just bigger. And so if you're not getting the next season on there as fast, obviously I think it takes like another year and they drop the whole season. Like people aren't watching it immediately. And again, I think it just shows the power of The Walking Dead, the fact that it is this massive, that, you know, like we're not all crazy to love it this much. There's also this point that was made in the article, but I do want to put an asterisk on this because I have my opinion on this, but it does say this uptick in quality because it's talking about the quality of The Walking Dead as a whole as soon as Andrew Lincoln left. The fact that the quality of the show got a lot better once he left. This I do agree with. Definitely the quality of the show got a lot better in terms of what you can do with all those other characters as soon as Rick left. And it was something that we all talked about in season 9. It was like everyone just got much more dialogue. Everyone was like front and center, and it just like the show's quality overall got a lot better. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Rick, obviously, but that is a fact. Like that did actually happen. But the one thing that I will say as well, and that's why I said I was going to put an asterisk on this, is because those first 5 episodes with Rick, with Angela Kang writing the story there in early season 9, were really great. And I think that uptick in quality was more of how Angela Kang and the writers handled everything. Like they just really handled it really well. And I think if Rick was still there, the show would probably be that much better just because you would have Andrew Lincoln there. And if anything, I've honestly, like, I'm picturing what it would look like if Rick was there during the Whisperer War or just the Whisperer arc in general. And honestly, like honestly, really try to imagine it. Like imagine Rick being there throughout all the Whisperer War with Alpha, you know, like having interactions with Beta and whatnot. Like I think of the quality of season 9 and 10. And I do think, honestly, like that arc might be better than a lot of the arcs going back to season 4 and 5. Because a lot of what people like about season 4 and 5 was how dark it got. Well, season 9 and 10 also got very dark, more specifically season 9 with the Whisperer Pike scene. Now imagine if Rick was there. Again, you're getting some very, very iconic scenes, and I think that The Walking Dead, like, I just think if Rick was there as a whole, I think the show would be that much better just because of the star power of Rick Grimes, right? But writing-wise, obviously, like, all of us are still huge fans. It's still really great, but that's why I'd put an asterisk there, because I do agree that there was a better focus on it, but I still think overall, if Andrew Lincoln was there, because of his star power, a lot of those storylines would actually be, like, much better from already being absolutely amazing, right? And then I'll end this video here with, I guess, kind of reading what they say here, which is The Walking Dead's future is really exciting now. And the limited 2-season run of The Walking Dead World Beyond may be over, but its end set up a development that could change everything going forward. That being the reveal of a new type of zombie that is smart and faster than usual. And that's really the big thing. Like with World Beyond, I'm not a fan of the show. I like some of the CRM stuff, or I guess more specifically Jada's stuff. But that post-credit scene was just absolutely amazing. And that will change the entire franchise and make everything so exciting. But yeah, it says on top of all of that is the 3 announced spin-offs in the work, right? 3. One starring Daryl, another called Isle of the Dead that follows Negan and Maggie in Manhattan, and oh, that's right, Tales of the Walking Dead. The latter may be the most interesting prospect as it allows for both new characters to be introduced and past characters to temporarily return from the dead. In short, it is still a great time to be a Walking Dead fan. And that's the thing, like with Tales of the Walking Dead, like I'm definitely really excited for that because I think a lot of those short stories, like I think some of the episodes people might not like because obviously people want like the governor to come back and this and that. But I don't know. For me, I love the zombie genre. I'm totally cool with watching new stories and meeting new characters. So I'm really excited for Tales of the Walking Dead. You bring in actors like Olivia Munn and Terry Crews, and I'm totally happy because you're bringing that star power obviously to a new franchise. And with Isle of the Dead and with the Daryl spinoff, and obviously it really does seem like they're going to be looking for Rick or maybe Michonne or whoever. It is a very exciting time to be a Walking Dead fan right now, based off of its online popularity, not even online, but like streaming popularity, how much in demand it is, the quality of the story getting a lot better. I think it is like The Walking Dead. It makes sense to build a universe out of this because there is so much there. Like there is so much there that you can do that it makes no sense to just end it and leave it there. Like people who want to create cinematic universes, who want to do things like this, like you literally, if you had your hands on The Walking Dead, you're not going to let this go. You're not going to just end it here. Like there is so much that you're able to do here. And that's where I go back to my original point. There is so much excitement here. There's so much hype for this show that, because of how big the show was before, obviously it's going to, attract a lot of haters, and people are going to say, oh, is this show still on, and this and that, are people still watch the show? But besides all of that, I think this just shows how massive this fan base is, and why I think a lot of people want that Rick movie update, right? Like, I think I'm excited with where things are going, but like, obviously we know in the grand scheme of things that there's a lot of buildup for the movie. There's a lot of buildup with the CRM storyline, and that's essentially where the storyline currently on The Walking Dead is going. We're dealing with some Commonwealth stuff, but I mean, I'm assuming they're going to find out Rick's alive. And then, just sort of where do you go from there, and that build to that. Like, that's why people want an update. That's why people are very excited whenever they see stuff with Andrew Lincoln online or Denai Guerrera online. People freak out about it. And I think that's just that's the elephant in the room right now, right? Like, that's just the thing that I really feel like they need to address. And the longer they don't address it, the more people are going to say the movies aren't happening, which when you just look at everything, it makes no sense to not happen. If anything, if there's no update at Comic-Con this year, or even at the end of the year when The Walking Dead ends, that just means that we're just that much farther away from the movie not coming out, right? But like, Andrew Lincoln wants to do the movie. AMC wants to do the movie, at least I'm assuming so. I mean, they'd make a ton of money off of it, so I don't know why they wouldn't. Like, they're doing Tales of the Walking Dead. Like, would you choose Tales of the Walking Dead or the Rick movie? Like, I'm assuming they're going to be on board, but yeah, obviously, if everyone wants to do it, the movie's going to happen. Like, it's pretty simple. It's just building the story to that point. But that's why I'm excited for Comic-Con, because it's been a while. It's been a long time since we have had an update. The show's ending later on this year. They're about to venture off into all these spinoffs and whatnot. Like, now is the perfect time to go and give an update to the fans, a really great update, and for everyone to be super excited. And then we'll just kind of see where we're going from there, right? So anyways, yeah, this article really got me thinking because there was a lot here, and I'm going to leave it here. I apologize if this video is pretty long. I just really want to give my thoughts on this because it's something that, like, again, I'll see some of those comments sometimes, but I just think that the more haters you have, I guess the more popular you are, the more they must be jealous of you. So like, The Walking Dead is obviously doing something right, because there's a lot of people that just like to hate on the show for literally no reason. They're just kind of comparing it to itself. And I think if they actually watch the show, they would realize how great this show is and how exciting the story is. I get it. Like, some of the hype of the current story with the Commonwealth might not seem as exciting as where we were in season 9 with the Whisperer stuff, but I really think, like, things have been shut down for the last 2 years. Like, we had to wait 6 to 7 months to get one episode, and then another 6 months to get bonus episodes or whatever. Or maybe not 6 months, it was like 3-4 months, 5 months, but then we had to wait another 4 or 5 months, however long it was, to get even season 11 part A. So it's been a long time. There was a huge delay. And so a lot of that momentum we had from the Whisperer arc going into the Commonwealth arc just completely died, right? So it's a lot of trying to build that back up again. And yeah, that's just sort of where we're at right now. But that's why I think a Rick movie announcement, I think going all out here for part 3 is exactly what you want to do. And I mean, if I was running The Walking Dead, that's exactly what I would do. With all the hype for this franchise, with the large fan base it does have, all the excitement for the Rick movie, The Walking Dead's ending right away, to rebuild some of that momentum that was lost during the break that we had, right? Or I guess with things being shut down over the last 2 years. Like, now is the perfect time for a Rick Grimes movie update. Like, this Comic-Con is the perfect time. I do understand you could announce something when The Walking Dead ends later on this year. that also could work. But I just think going into part 3 to build up a lot of that hype, you know, to promise a lot for the future, to see where the franchise is going, to see how it's going to, you know, play out over the next couple of years. Now I believe is the perfect time. And when I say now, obviously I mean Comic-Con. Like, just like this period in time over the next like 12 days or so. Like, it's the perfect time. I think as a fan, I would be super excited. I would love a big update. And then yeah, I mean, just like the article pointed out here, there is a lot here for the Walking Dead fans. It's a really great time to be a Walking Dead fan, and obviously we can feel it. It's just that there's that one thing, right? It's the Rick movie. Like, we need that update. Again, now is the perfect time for the update. But I'm gonna leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.